Mario, everyone's favorite mustachioed mascot platformer. Sometimes the universe needs a saving, and he's the only guy that can do it, and other times he's got a dozen people helping him steal back his girlfriend. Today, we're gonna look at Mario's character in every mainline Mario game and rank him from worthless to elite. I'm not counting the Donkey Kong games as mainline, so in the OG arcade Mario Bros. Game, he's of course the main character alongside his brother Luigi. That's just for multiplayer though. In single player, you can only play as the Red Man himself. He cleans up the sewers by defeating all the strange creatures down there, but since the game's based on high score and there's no ending, he doesn't really accomplish anything, so he can't go all that high. In Super Mario Bros., he plays as classic of a hero role as possible. The princess gets kidnapped and the kingdom's in turmoil, so he sets out for adventure, treks through 8 worlds all by himself, and defeats the great King Koopa. It's got the least amount of power-ups to aid him and is pure platforming goodness, so anything lower than typical hero would be a disservice to him.
Same thing?
This is our year.
You know, if getting AT&T's best deal taught me anything, it's that switching things up can be a good call.
The Lost Levels is the hardest Mario game, and has super unfair level design, so the fact that he's able to overcome all these obstacles with no help mind you, makes this the easiest elite of the video. In the US version of Mario 2, you don't have to play as Mario for a second. Right from the get-go, you can select from 4 characters, and Mario's the most boring option here, having no real upside and just being a balanced character. That would warrant a selectable character tier, but the end of the game reveals the entire thing to be a dream, so he's just zonked out the entire playthrough. Worthless. Mario Land's a pretty simple adventure, being the first one designed for a handheld, but Mario's got his hands full for sure. Instead of saving the same old Mushroom Kingdom, he rescues Princess Daisy and her kingdom, Sarasa Land, because he's just a stand-up guy like that. Nothing all that crazy here, he does what he sets out to and is a typical hero. Mario Bros. 3 nearly perfects the Mario side-scroller. It's got a great difficulty curve with immaculate level design, fun power-ups, and fresh ideas galore. Mario's role is about the same as it was in the original game, except for the fact that the entire thing is just a stage play, so there's no danger, no saving the world, and no point to it, unless he got paid for playing the role. He doesn't really win, so he's going here. Mario World has all the same benefits as the third game, but actually happens, which secures it a way higher spot. Now, I made a tier for when Mario has super powerful allies, and Yoshi almost fits that role, but doesn't quite in my book, because he's more of a glorified power-up in the game. He refuses to go into ghost houses and castles, runs away after you get hit, and isn't seen for levels at a time. He's OP when you got him, but Mario's the one riding and controlling him, and takes on the big challenges all on his own, so he's going at least typical hero. Mario Land 2 is the first time we see the guy adventuring for himself. He now has his very own castle and entire island, which Wario takes control over, so he's gotta whoop some ass and get it back. Wario's a unique villain, and the gameplay feels a lot better than the original Mario Land. The only problem I have with this one is that there's not as much danger, but seeing Mario with all these assets makes him look a lot better than usual. Still, the adventure overall is pretty tame. Typical. Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island features Baby Mario, and after his stork gets ambushed, he falls onto the back of a Yoshi, who carries him around for the entire game to save his brother. Mario himself doesn't do anything, and his crying sound effect has burned itself into the heads of anyone that's played the game. Every time you get hit, he floats away in a bubble crying, and makes Yoshi track him down to calm him. Incredibly worthless. Super Mario 64 is one of the most Mario-dependent games in the series. There's really no other characters here. The castle's just empty, outside of toads that vanish when you walk away, and the ghosts in the courtyard. So the resolution's entirely reliant on Mario navigating everything all by himself, and exploring these treacherous terrains with no aid. And there's hardly any power-ups to help either. You can get different caps later in the game, but for a large majority of it, it's one grown man versus a giant Koopa and his entire army, so odds are really stacked against him. Even so, he gets a piece of that sweet cake in the end, so he's gotta go elite. Mario Sunshine has the guy getting screwed over right from the start. He shows up to the island to finally take a breather and relax on vacation, but as soon as he gets off the plane, he's getting blamed for making a giant graffiti mess across town and is thrown in jail. Conveniently though, he meets a water pack named Flood that's very ideal for cleaning up all this sludge, and he's the only reason Mario's able to tackle this mess so efficiently. He wipes away these gang symbols in no time, defeats goop monsters like they called his mom a bitch, and gives Mario's jump a massive crutch to correct almost any misinterpreted distance, so much so that they have to take him away to actually challenge the player with platforming. Flood's as powerful of an ally as they come. Mario 64 DS puts Mario's role on its head compared to the original. The game starts with you taking control of Yoshi, and only after rescuing Mario does he become playable, but so do Wario and Luigi, and who the heck's gonna pick Mario out of these guys? Even if he's objectively the most useful character for a certain situation, Yoshi can wear a hat that disguises him as Mario and gives him the same moveset, so the plumber himself is obsolete as all fuck here. Still, he is a selectable character, so he gets some props. In New Super Mario Bros. DS, you can avoid playing as Mario the entire game if you feel so inclined. When you start up a new save file and hold L and R as you select it, you swap him out for his green, more handsome counterpart, and lets you play through the whole game as him, demoting Mario to simply a selectable character. Mario Galaxy is a pretty tricky one to place. On the bright side, he's the only playable character in the main game, and he saves the entire universe from Bowser's tyranny, but he does receive quite the helping hand from Rosalina. After a Magic Koopa ruins his day and leaves him unconscious and stranded on some random planet, she and her Lumas pick him up and set him off on the right track, dropping him off galaxy to galaxy and being vital to him getting to the center of the universe to stop Bowser. He also has a Luma ratatouilleing in his hat the entire game, giving him that oh-so-helpful spin jump. He still does more of the grunt labor than anyone else, but has some pretty powerful allies. The single player in Mario Bros. Wii is only doable as Mario himself, but the multiplayer offers Luigi, Blue Toad, and Yellow Toad, all of which can be played as simultaneously through every single level. If we're talking single player, this is typical Hero, but since multiplayer is such a big focus here and takes a lot of weight off of his shoulders, he's going here. Galaxy 2 is essentially the same as the original. You get the Luma up in your hat, someone taking you around in their ship, and even more aid thanks to Yoshi appearing from time to time and Luigi helping a little. Powerful allies for sure. Mario 3D Land is the most generic feeling 3D Mario, but it empowers Mario himself more than most of the others. There's no gimmicks, just linear, obstacle course-like levels and a relatively mild threat compared to the rest of these games. So it's not grand or sexy, but he does the job. It's the Toyota Corolla of the Mario series. Now, Luigi does become playable, but that's only after you save the day and rescue him yourself. It's a typical look, and that's not a bad thing. New Super Mario Bros. 2 is almost identical to the last game. It's Mario and Mario alone working through the main game and stopping typical Bowser antics, and then we get Luigi after the fact, which doesn't do anything. He's the average hero here. Mario Bros. U treats Mario the same as the Wii version. He has to be player one, but gets mad help anytime you have friends over to play and somehow convince them to play Mario U with you. But still, he's got powerful allies. Luigi U finally gives Lil Bro some time in the spotlight. Mario's missing, so worthless. Mario 3D World brings back the character selection from Mario 2, which is awesome, and this time it's not a dream. He's a selectable character that no one wants to play as, so... Mario Maker and its sequel do about the same thing with the plumber. He's the guy you're building levels for, but there's no threats, no stake, and no real purpose beyond the player flexing their creative muscles or trying to beat impossible levels for the sake of it, so he doesn't exactly win in either of these. Mario Run makes you play the tutorial as Mario, but after that, building a character's house unlocks them as a playable character, so you can switch off within minutes and avoid him for the rest of your time with the game. Selectable. Mario Odyssey gives Jumpman one of his most OP companions yet, Cappy. He can throw him to wipe out enemies, aim the throw any way he needs, and hop off the top of him to jump further. Oh, and the surplus of captures that give him abilities beyond his wildest dreams. Cappy is elite and makes Mario's job a hell of a lot easier, so... Bowser's Fury pairs Mario up with Bowser Jr., who assists him throughout the game by uncovering secrets and killing enemies, which screams powerful ally, but you can turn this help off, so not quite. The big issue I have comes with Bowser himself, who's a super menacing foe here, and watching Mario collect the Giga Bell and fight him is pretty badass, but even when he wins, Fury Bowser still terrorizes Lake Lapcat. I 100% of the game, and the overworld still gets consistently attacked, so what was it for? Bowser Jr. kinda gets his dad back, but Mario doesn't really win here. And last but not least, Mario Wonder gives you 12 playable characters from the very beginning, and together they're able to save the day. I sure as hell hope so. He's selectable, but more diluted than ever before. And there you have it. And no, I didn't forget about the RPG games. I've got a video coming next week where I rank Mario's role in each of those, so if you don't want to miss it, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.